Hello and welcome to my tutorial on how to make fully functioning ballistas in Minecraft 1.7 and beyond. Now before I begin I have to give credit to ChibiChuba who gave me the inspiration to make a ballista with his own ballista design, as well as MasterSilverWolf on Planet Minecraft, who made a design like this but it was firing arrows instead of actual bolts. So I've improved upon both of those designs and meld them into one. The links to both of their things are shown on screen now. Now the idea for this ballista is that it can be mounted onto the front of ships. It can also be on the top of castles to take down large enemies, but the main point is to basically destroy things. So this can be used in adventure maps where you have an engineer class that's got a spanner who when they're in game mode 2, but in this case I have to put it in game mode 0, which is survival, to place down a spanner on a gold block. In 1.8, using command blocks themselves, you can make items be summoned that can only be placed on certain blocks, but in 1.7 that's not available yet, which I'm showing this to you now in. So as you can see just off into the distance, I've been having a little bit of fun. So the idea is that you place down the spanner as the engineer and you go into this repair room. What happens when you enter the repair room is you're given items, which is redstone and wooden planks. We use this to fix the ballista for both of them. It currently says eucalyptus because I'm on Australian English. And anyone else who pulls that lever behind you shows up in this little viewing room here. To return, I can push this button, clears my inventory, I'm back up here, but then if I pull it again, I'm here. I can push this button and go out there, and somebody else can pull the lever and get teleported in, but the idea is that only the engineer can make it in. So the instruction we're given is repair the ballista by powering the blue block. So the blue block is here, so by easily juicing it up, we can do this. Clears our inventory, ballista has been repaired correctly, it can now be used. But there is no ammunition, so what's the point of pulling the trigger? A pressure pad appears behind the player, jump on it, lightweight bolt. This now has a bolt in it, and there it goes. Lightweight, medium weight, lightweight, medium weight, heavyweight. So essentially that's what happens. You repair it and you can just keep loading it. You don't have to put the repair room in there. It can be used without it quite simply. And the actual bolts themselves go quite a distance, but there is a limitation to it, and I'll show you that in a second. So this is our heavy bolt explosive damage. This is our medium bolt explosive damage, and sometimes the medium bolt can sort of spaz out a bit and end up being here. And this is our light bolt explosive. So I'll explain what this is later on with the actual showing you how it works, but when I reference the limitation, this is what it is. So on to showing how it works. So how the ballista works is by changing this command block right here. At the moment it says teleport save a sculptor, which is me, but that can be changed to at closest player, etc. So what this does is it teleports the player inside the ballista room. The ballista room is just right here in this little box here. Alright, and what happens when the first player pulls this lever here, they appear above this pressure pad. This pressure pad activates and gives the player the wooden planks they need, the redstone, announces that the player is in the room, and what it actually does is, once I've gotten all these things here, is it changes this command block to then replace another command block. So if I now pull this, it sends me into the viewing room. This allows another player who pulls the lever to show up here, and it announces they're in the viewing room. Alright, I'm not supposed to have these eucalyptus wood planks etc. on me at the moment because I didn't push the button to get out of here. If I want to get out of here, I push here. So as long as I keep pulling that lever, I'll keep showing up in the viewing room until the person in here has decided to complete their puzzle or leave. And then once that they leave, what happens is there is redstone behind, which clears their inventory here, which replaces the command blocks back over there to send the player in here, and also gets rid of the pressure pad. So down here as well, this is just a continuation. This is giving the item with the lore. This is saying attempting to repair the Ballista. This is replacing the command block to send, pardon me, to send the players to the other room. Whereas this, when pushing the return button, resets it all and clears the inventory. Now, after that's done, what happens is when the blue block is powered, officially powered, what happens is the player is then given this message saying that it is being repaired correctly. Set block commands are then put down to replace the command block here with the ammunition to fire the Ballista. Also, then what's it called, places the pressure plate at the back of the Ballista. So at the moment there's none of that there, but if I quickly go in here, grab a lever, I just get rid of these, teleports the player back here, pressure pad appears, and this command block again is now different, which is must load the ammunition first. This pressure pad is actually powering a command block here, which is setting a redstone block over at this contraption. Now, what happens here is that when that pressure pad is stepped on, a redstone block appears at this point here. This command block immediately gets rid of that redstone block, and then all these other command blocks here, which are spaced out a lot, this can actually be compacted a lot more. So anybody who's thinking this is too much space, it's not actually a problem. What this does is replaces all of these original white wool blocks with air or wooden planks, and then replaces the air blocks along here and along here with the white wool to make it look like it's been drawn back. So if I place down this redstone block, it does that. So that's what pressing that pressure pad does. It puts down that redstone block and then activates that entire sequence underneath there. And what it then does is places a redstone block at the end of it using that command block just there, here. Now, each one of these bolts, the lightweight, medium weight, and heavyweight, are set up by color at the moment. So I've got blue for lightweight, green for medium, red for heavy. For both, for the bolt to actually fire, you need to power both of these blue tracks. So this T gate here, unless it's turned off, it won't turn on. Unless it's turned off, this will stay off. So what this does is says the lightweight bolt has been selected. What this then does is, what is this doing? Oh yes, this is replacing the command block in here with air, and then when that lever is pulled, it will then place a redstone block at the end of here. So that's what that's doing. This here is once again setting up blocks with commands. So then this one here, when tapping the pressure pad at the back, the command block at the back is changed to summon a redstone block here. So tapping it once puts it here, tapping the pressure pad again, because changing the command block down here puts the redstone block up here. So both command blocks are changed, and one of the command blocks here actually gets rid of any changes. Make sure there are no redstone blocks at this position or this position. I'll show you why that is later. So when the lever is pulled, a redstone block is summoned here. One of these command blocks replaces that with air, so it immediately disappears. A falling sand entity disguised as a wooden block is shot from the end. A fireworks launch sound is played, so that's the little sound you hear. And then all the way up here is summoning. This is a summon command for an invisible creeper with a fuse of 0 and an explosion radius of 5. So this is actually summoning the creeper at where the bolt will land. So when both of these are powered, both the redstone blocks are depleted, and this is actually turned on for a split second. What this does is then powers up to here, where all of the points actually end up going to this white area. The white area is resetting this. So that's turning those blocks that were changed before into air and changing the blocks that were changed into air back into this. So it has reset, so it has given the illusion that the string has been released. And these two last points here are resetting the command blocks at the tail and at the body here. So once that has been set off, you need to load the ammunition again. So if I step on this, lightweight bolt. That replaces the command block, which if I touch it again, it says medium weight bolt. What that actually does is summons a red block here. And what these commands do are exactly the same as this one down here. Checks that these two spots are air, changes the command block over there to make sure that it summons a redstone block here, to make sure that the tail end command block makes a redstone block here, so on and so forth. And then these ones up here are to summon the falling sand, to summon the fireworks, to summon the active effects when the redstone block appears from here. So when this shows up, the T-gate is set off again, that's all reset, the bolt's gone. So once again, let's try it with the heavyweight bolt selected. Just placing down the redstone blocks here doesn't work because obviously it has to go through that cycle. So, whoops. There we go, that fixed it. So, that's because I only played with the redstone stuff. Now, lightweight, medium weight, heavyweight. So by the heavyweight bolt being placed there, pulling that lever over there will summon a redstone block here, which will then summon that sand entity, summon the creeper at where it lands, set off this T-gate, reset the whole thing, so then it returns back to this neutral position. Now, the problem with it, however, is that the creeper explosion will not summon if it is known as outside of the world or outside of player chunks. For example, that just happened. So unless the player is near it, the explosion won't go off. And for example, for these lightweight bolts that are coming out this far, they won't detonate at all unless there is a player per se standing right here. For if it was just the player all the way over there, it's out of the side of their chunk zone, so this is the limit. So it's about 150 blocks from where the end of the ballista fires that it can go to a distance and explode without having any problems. So yeah, that's my ballista. Obviously it can be very much worked on and compacted down. I do plan on making a smaller, more compact version, including the redstone, maybe not even having that little viewing room. That's just an extra thing added on there. So the main points to look out for when making this is to make sure there is a T-gate that you've got here for each little point, and making sure that it makes sure that no other blocks are in these positions. Okay, ChibiChuba out.